All right. Now it's time for West Coast Massholes. The 15-minute clock has begun. Josh Wingate.
Yay ho! That's Todd Robert Anderson. I
That
am
is,
Joshua Matthew Wingate, and
I have a comparison question to launch the
yeah,
show today.
yeah,
Um, Based on what happened over the weekend in Texas with the boat parade. Like I think like they haven't released official numbers yet, but I believe it's like they're looking at like 12 to 15 boats sank in this boat parade in Texas. So my question is, West Coast has the same boat parade. How many boats sink West Coast, and how many boats sink in Massachusetts?
more in California, I would say, because I think that Massachusetts is known and already well established for having little boat parades, and they got those amphibious cars that they drive in and
Mm-hmm.
down the Charles River. And
Mm-hmm.
I think there's more the sailing etiquette and education is more prevalent in the Northeast, to my experience, what I would imagine. So the understanding of the rules and the size of what the proximity of boats and the wakes in which boats are waking would be taken into better consideration probably on the East Coast. So
So what
Northeast.
you're saying is on the East Coast in Massachusetts versus here, and obviously in Texas, um, the Trump supporters who go in boat parades in Massachusetts are superior in a
in
nautical
in
way.
in nautical, yeah, I would say so.
Okay.
I would say that the just my experience, having
No,
been there,
that makes sense. One
not
time,
my experience with Trump supporters, because I don't have
you
a
don't
lot of
talk.
experience with Trump supporters. And
Oh,
that,
you
I
don't.
mean, I don't, you know, very little,
They're all
very
over the
little.
place around me. Flags everywhere. Yeah, it's creepy.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. We could go out one night. We'll go, me and you come up one night. We'll dress in black and we'll go around and just light Trump flags on fire.
And scream Antifa.
Yes.
Antifa.
Yeah. Antifa.
We're highly
Yeah.
organized Antifa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're a domestic terrorist organization.
One time on the Charles River, I was in a boat race, but my boat was a chicken coop that was floating on gallons of milk. Empty gallon jugs of milk.
Oh yeah, nice,
Yeah.
nice. So it's like those old go-kart races that you have to, you make out of like cardboard boxes and stuff. Yeah,
Exactly.
and that's cool.
Yeah.
So how long were you in before you sank?
We actually didn't sink, but we came in last. We were it took us the longest to go from the start to the
So
finish.
the hydrodynamics were not well designed.
Right. In
Yeah.
fact, they gave us a consolation prize for coming in last. We each got towels, me and my friend who did this. We each got towels that said, "Thank God it didn't sink."
That's great. You should have that framed.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that towel is lost to time.
I know, but how great would it be to have that towel now and have some documentation or some photos of the boat you actually were on, and to put it out there now and say, see, if you're a good person, you don't sink.
Yeah.
Even in a chicken coop and milk cartons, you don't even sink.
That's a good
But
point. I wonder if my parents might have a photo of that towel somewhere in one of their photo albums, but they're moving right now, so I can't really ask them to go looking for it.
where are they moving? Out of Sherborne?
No, they haven't lived in Sherburne. They're moving out of Walpole, New Hampshire.
Walpole, New Hampshire.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with Walpole, Massachusetts,
No.
where there's a state penitentiary.
And they're moving down to Massachusetts. They're moving back to Massachusetts.
Whereabouts?
Um, I don't know, somewhere in Western Mass, I guess.
Mhm, We're in the Berkshires.
I don't know, someplace.
Yeah.
They're closer to my sister.
Wow. So are you the only one that got out of there?
No, my brother's in DC.
Yeah.
He didn't get
Is he
off the
in?
East Coast, but yeah.
Is he in politics?
No, he's a lawyer.
Oh, same thing.
Yeah,
Same thing. Kind of.
he's an activist as well. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I
On
can
what
see
side?
him. I can see him running for some kind of office someday, and like when they uncover all the truth about me, it'll ruin his career.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and
Nice.
they'll
Yeah.
drag both of our families through the mud. It's going to be terrible. But I
Oh,
can
that's
see him.
awesome.
I can see him running for office for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. Is he does he fall on the same Lola wants to be in Massholes today. I'm sure you can hear the wow.
Hi, Lola.
Lola. Does he fall on the same side of the fence as you, or is he
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. He's always been that way. He
Okay.
did when he was in college. He considered, because he had dreamed as a kid of joining the FBI, and he did a an internship when he was in college, and he didn't like anybody who worked there, so he decided to become a public defender instead.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Public defender. That is a job that I can see. Like, you put all that time into your education to become a lawyer, to become a public defender. I see how important it is to have said roles, but I mean, wow, that must be a tough one. Is he still a public defender now?
Yeah, he
Wow.
works in the appellate courts. Yeah, he actually does a lot of good work. He does it because especially he focuses on young people who are in trouble, and defending them, so they don't get sent up the river.
Yeah.
Have their
And
entire
this
lives
is in
condemned.
DC, right? And DC
Yeah,
is a very large Black community, so I'm
yeah,
sure he's helping a lot of Black youth. That's good.
yep,
That's good. Because you hear the stories of young Black men getting arrested and charged to crimes they didn't commit, that they end up just admitting guilt in order to like get smaller time on their sentence
yeah,
instead of even going to trial. Like, it's really sad.
yeah.
It's really sad.
My brother just got a bunch of people out of prison.
Oh, because you said he does appeals. Really?
Yeah, because of COVID, got people released.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah,
That's
he does.
good.
That's the kind of work he does. So,
So he's a better man than you, I think.
definitely a
He
better.
actually does something besides bitch on Facebook.
Yeah, he does. He does important things. I do not. I do not.
That's all right.
I just whine and shit.
That's okay.
Feel sorry
That's
for
all right.
myself.
Yeah, I feel sorry for you feeling sorry for yourself.
You're not given to self-pity.
No, I have in my past. Yeah, I just don't. When I wallow in my self-pity too long, it gets ugly fast. It gets ugly real fast. It's just not pretty. No one wants to be around me. My own cat just walks away. She's like, I don't want to be around you, fucking whiny asshole. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I try to give it a comic bent. I try to be funny with it. That's how I get it through. A spoonful of sugar.
Yeah, well, I mean, self-deprecating humor is my favorite type of humor. That and cynical humor is funny too, which is kind of goes hand in hand sometimes.
Sure.
Self-deprecation and cynicism. But,
yes, cynicism is good. People are too negative about cynicism.
See, there's a funny joke right there. And that's a good one. People are too negative about sentences. Only smart people understand what that joke really meant. All right?
Smart ones. The
So,
smarties.
if you're smart, I personally don't think there's a correlation between intelligence and education at all.
Not necessarily. No.
No, I don't think
You
there
can
is.
have a great education and not be very intelligent, if that's what you mean.
Yes, and you could also be highly intelligent and not have a great education.
That's true.
And,
yes,
but you could also be highly unintelligent and still got an education.
Well, and then the question is, if you're highly intelligent and you got an education, are you better off than someone who's intelligent and didn't get a good education?
I guess it depends on what the education is. Standardized or like self-sought out education, because then now we're opening the can of worms a little bit, because self-sought education could have nothing to do with any accredited schools or universities or colleges. It could be,
well, I guess that's true, but if imagine that there's some kind of standardized test that's fair for people who have traditional education, and then people have their self-taught education, like the test, everybody takes the same test sort of thing.
Yeah. Which is absurd. Standardized testing is absurd. It's absolutely absurd.
Yeah, but this one's really, Josh, hypothetical. It's a hypothetical. This one's really good. This is a perfect standardized test that's fair to everyone across the board, regardless of income, regardless of whether they went to classrooms or they journeyed around the world like a hobo, learning things from the earth or whatever.
Okay.
Well,
what would you be testing?
I'm just curious how you think people would do. Would the first question that I asked, if the highly intelligent person has a higher education than another highly intelligent person who doesn't have a decent education, is that person better off or not?
On the standardized test, probably, because education teaches you testing.
But the standardized test, I told you, it's a magical standardized test.
So it's magical.
Yeah, it's magical.
Then I think this is an absurd conversation, and I think standardized tests are absurd, and I think you're absurd, and I think Nazis suck.
I agree with all those statements, but we still have 2 minutes left on the clock.
Okay, well then let's go back to some Massholeian concepts. Let's talk about how many Red Sox hats you see on average. When, granted, let's pretend we're not in COVID time. When normal times, you're going to auditions, you're going around LA, you see a lot of Red Sox hats. A lot of Red Sox. I mean, I personally do. I don't know if that's just the reticular activating system, because that's what I'm focused on. But do you notice this as well?
Yeah, I definitely see a lot of Boston Red Sox caps. But you know what I don't see very much of? New England Patriots stuff.
Yeah, I do once in a while, but far more
every now and then.
Yeah,
and I always think, well, that guy's got balls, because he knows that most of the people who see that, it's triggering him, and they hate him.
Yes. Yeah. Cheetah. Well, no, see, it wouldn't be that. It'd be, you're a cheater, bro. Your team cheats, man. Tom Brady's a cheater. Like, you're a loser.
That's exactly how it would go.
Yeah. Heavy is the head that wears the crown, you know what I'm saying? We'll see how good old Tom and Gronkowski do down in Florida. They moved to the armpit of America. Sorry, Floridians. But, yeah, they're playing down in Tampa Bay this year.
Yeah.
And the Pats got good old Cam Newton. So we get very exciting fashion sites every week. Different hats and
that's great, I guess. don't
But
really,
back to the Red Sox thing. Do you think these are transplants, or do you think these are just Red Sox Nation people?
I'm guessing transplants because it's LA County mostly.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Oh, oh my.
Yeah, I would say they're mostly transplants because, LA is really a transplant town.
It is a transplant town. And I
We
think a
all
lot
have
of the,
dreams. We all want to make it.
yeah, and all the smart ones leave New England because of the winter.
Yeah.
But this freaking humidity's got me reminded of home. Fuck, it's hot and humid.
Yeah, it's nasty out. It's so
Mm,
gross. I don't like it. It's
yeah,
like soup.
yeah.
Anyway, we got to say one more thing before we go. Fuck
Fuck
you,
you,
Nazis.
Nazis. Fuck you.
Sweet. This has been a Blursh production. Blursh.